Oh la 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 la. Okay, we gotta make preparations and go to Jincho. Is there a taxi down here? Yes, there is. And since we have no side cases or anything, you know, there's no real point in trying to do any of them, I guess. So. This might be the last video of this series, I don't know yet. Depends on how time spaces out.
Actually. You weren't spying on me, were you?
I'm assuming we're getting ready to do the last mission. I have no idea.
And I mean everywhere.
So I guess we'll find out.
Where are you right now?
Over at the Leomon's place. Hoshino-kun and Higashi are here too.
Oh, right. They mentioned they were going to Yokohama to see Ahara's wife or something.
Make your way over, will you? I need a full report, and I don't want to hear you were slacking.
Well, look at you taking charge. Anything else, boss?
Yeah, don't drag your feet along the way.
Kaito can be an asshole sometimes. Like, for real. Oh, fuck me.
Looks like the gang's all here.
Everyone but the star of the show.
That is next level ass kissing, Hoshino-kun.
A good ass kisser is a good communicator.
You fucking ass licker.
Japanese-san.
Grab a seat, Talk.
Why did I even open my phone? I just wanted to see what time it was.
So you're really gonna stand in court again?
Just to give Sari-san some support.
Ah, I see. Does that mean I don't need
If you're
to be
wondering why I
present
have a
for
bunch of
Ahara-san's
tools on my
appeal?
bed, it's because,
How would I know?
well,
Isn't that more of a Sari-san question?
Yagami's there, I don't see why you gotta be.
I
You're on thin ice, Hoshino-kun. You still gonna have a job if you
have to change the battery in my
I have been plenty
truck,
useful. At least a
because
little.
apparently it's dead
Should a
completely.
lawyer really have to say that? This guy is kind of a rookie, huh?
So I had to get a bunch of tools out because I didn't know exactly what size bolt it was to get the thing out of there.
Well, that's all I got. How about you guys?
Ah, fuck. Come on.
What's the word on
Damn
RK
it.
coming down to a Gene show?
Everywhere you look,
forgot
they
to,
strip around like they own the place.
Mark my schedule
Faces, too. They stare us down
for today.
close. It's fucking annoying.
Plus, they're acting like they're here to stay. They've been harassing the joints we have ties with.
Harassing how?
You know, shit like pretending to be normal customers, then dying dashing or complaining to mess with business. Then another guy will come in and be like, need protection? And suddenly they're charging a fee.
That's some yakuza shit right there.
Old shit, too. The yakuza who pulls that today is out in one shot under the anti-gang laws.
Soma? Is he still around town?
Nah, there's nothing on him. Even if he is, he probably...
I'm getting kind of a late start to recording. I hope that doesn't affect the upload, because my internet's been dog shit too. Go figure, right? That's what happens when you have wireless.
Especially if he has public security's help. Unless it's a life or death situation, I doubt he'll show his face.
It's still $60 fucking a month though. Let me just clean this last lens and then I'll pick another option.
Hoshino-kun, Gashi, you two met with the
I
Ahara's
should have
wife?
blew my damn nose.
Yeah, but we didn't gain much from it.
Turns out Ahara and his old lady don't really keep in touch. After her son took his life 4 years back, she refused to keep living under the same roof. Only reason she hasn't divorced him is because it's too much of a pain to process.
She's been living in that same apartment even when Toshiro-kun was still alive.
Is
She let
divorcing
us light
someone
some
in Japan
incense on
really
his
that
altar.
fucking difficult?
She was pretty vacant.
Because it's not that hard here.
Did Ahara's battery charge come up at all?
If a man and a woman are
She
married,
said she didn't care.
and if you're a dude,
She didn't care.
and
her
your wife
husband
wants a
was out there
divorce,
groping
just give her
women and killing
everything.
bullies?
You'll settle it
Was
right
she even
there.
seen because she was
But you'll
broke?
still have to pay alimony.
According to her,
Even though you
no.
give the house, everything in the house, most of your money,
It's hard
the
to believe.
vehicles.
Well,
You'll
there's
still
no
have to
easy
pay
way
alimony.
put it, but it felt like she'd given up on everything.
Made
You
for a
don't know what
pretty
you're talking
depressing
about,
trip, I'll
Casual.
tell you that.
You think you know it all. You're a fuck piece of shit. It's like, no.
So
I've
where's
had a lot of
Cole?
members of my
Any
family
word on where he's hiding?
go through very bad divorces, and
About that.
even had one
You must
uncle
have
that
asked
was
everyone
really
in
on the
Eugene's
brink of
show.
committing
We got
suicide.
nothing.
RK's out there looking for him too.
Literally lost
Seem to think
everything.
they've still got
Had
him
his
for
gun
bucks.
collection worth like
On the flip
$150,000,
side,
$200,000
that means they
sold
still
out from
haven't
underneath
found
him. Stolen
Well,
and
yes,
sold from out
although
underneath
that's
him.
not much consolation.
Lost his brand new
Kawano-san's
Volkswagen
still in one
Tiguan
piece after
that he
the
bought
explosion?
for his wife, even though he paid for it and everything, and
Alive? Yes.
you know.
Unharmed? I can't say.
and lost his
saw
house,
him,
lost
he
his
was already
pension.
making
Well, not
plans to
his
disappear.
pension. He has some
The real
type of
problem is
disability
what happens
because he
next.
can't walk.
Now that he knows Reiko Kusamoto betrayed
And
him, we don't know Kawano's
yeah, he
next
had to
move.
go out and
I'd never
basically
let
get
that
a
slide
part-time
if I were in
job
his shoes.
so he can
Maybe
afford a
Kawano's thinking the
vehicle,
same
pay
thing,
cash for it
you know?
because all of his money was
Spent
taken
all
too.
that
His
time
house,
underground
brand new
breeding
car
and
that he
shit.
bought, and he's retired,
Maybe he's really gonna
retirement
stick it
age
to
too.
Reiko Kusamoto.
And I haven't heard from him in a
Yeah,
couple
I could
years, so
definitely see that.
hopefully he's all right. I have no idea. My mom's brother. And I have other members of my family too, guys who have been through terrible divorces. Kind of turns me off, to be
How about
honest,
wrap it up?
about the whole marriage thing.
Seems so. As for me, I think I'll head out and see what I can find out about Kawano-san.
Same.
It's funny,
I
you
just
get
hope he's
married and
okay.
everything, you give them the life that they wanted or what they said they wanted, and it's still not good enough, and they start cheating on you, and you're the cause, you're the problem. And then they ruin your whole entire life,
Tsukumo-san and
turn all your
Sugimura-san
friends and
do some
family against
impressive
you,
work.
get you fired,
Yeah.
take all your assets
don't
and
know the
everything,
candle
take all your
in
bank
Bushido-kun.
accounts,
Black
especially
belt
if
in
their name's
karate.
on them too.
Never even use it.
Which, I mean,
Well,
if
I'm
you
just
are
more
married,
of
I
a
mean, why
behind the
wouldn't you have a
scenes
joint
kinda
account?
guy. Anyway, I'm heading back to Kamurocho. Enjoy yourself, Higashi-san.
What about
Yeah, it
you?
happened to my uncle, and he didn't even have
Oh,
enough
nice.
money to pay like a down payment
Tetsuo said they'll
to
let us
rent a
stay
place.
if you do.
So he had to start working
I'll
again
skin off
because
my
basically
back,
all of
really.
his alimony checks,
So, what'll it be?
they're all being paid by his disability. And he's basically paralyzed, so
If I can really stay
I don't know how the fuck
I'll
he's
take him up
working.
on that.
it would have to be a sit-down job. That's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, he contemplated suicide and everything. Drinks himself to death. He goes through about a handle a day, I'm pretty sure, unless he quit drinking. I have no idea. But yeah, divorce here in the States is easy as fuck. Just know that, you know, gonna sound sexist, you can say whatever the fuck you want though, but if you're a woman, it's no big deal. Unless, you know, you're the breadwinner, then you might get fucked a little bit, especially if you have kids with the person that you're getting divorced from. But if you're a guy, you might as well just chalk it up, your life's over. Plain and simple.
Hey, Yagami-san. You handle everything in a Jincho?
And they wonder why people don't want to get married anymore. Kind of fucking self-explanatory there. Alright, let's go ahead and just
Really?
do it.
Good, because Tsukumo-kun said he had
It's gonna
something
be a
he
long
wanted to show
video
you.
anyway. Last missions are
upstairs.
usually, they take like
You mind
30
going to
minutes
him?
to an hour. And the cutscenes too, plus, you know, the ending credits. This is probably gonna be at least an hour video, if not longer. So, just
Tsukumo-kun,
keep that in
Yagami-san's
mind.
Something up?
Yes, it's about the pendant Kawano-san
And I'll also
gave.
keep that in mind when it takes me like a week
Turns
and a
out
half to
it was
fucking
just a
upload.
decoy after
Because
all.
my internet's being dog shit.
Decoy? For what?
I'll just
what was
render it out. It
inside.
probably won't take me long, maybe a
This.
half an hour, and then I'll start uploading, and
Cracks in the pendant were hiding an
I'll go
SD
outside, do
card,
some more yard work.
and
I
on
almost
it there
got
was
stung
some video
yesterday
data.
because I took out a bunch
Video
of
data.
old
Of what
shrubbery and poison ivy and stuff like that, like radical weeds that were just spreading all over the place. And I left one section because there was like a swarm of hornets and wasps that tried to attack me, and I went through like
Doesn't make sense.
2
Why would
cans of
Kiwana put
shot.
his life on the line just to give me that.
Well, actually, it was more like a can
I
and a
mean,
half.
RK came after him and
Like I
everything.
used the remainder of
All for
a
a
half
video
can
that's
or like a
already all
2/3
over the
can,
internet.
and I used a
Yes.
whole another one.
Except the video on that card.
So there's
is the
like dead
original.
wasps
All
and
the
hornets
others
all
were
over the
copies
yard.
of this source.
I'm gonna rake those up and
In layman's terms,
pick them up with like a
this
shovel
is
or
the
something. I'm not
master
touching those things with
or in
gloves.
film, it'd be the negative. With no
Even if they're
additions
dead, they
or
can still sting you if
modifications
their
of any
stinger is
kind.
out.
What do you
So-
mean? And how do you know for sure?
And I don't want to take a chance
So
to
this
find
SD
out
card here
whether or
is
not
a
I'm allergic to
special
them.
thing. You can't usually buy it in stores.
I figured I'd
It's
be
called a
smart
worm,
in this
or write
circumstance.
Once, read many.
But I gotta get
If
rid of
you
them
were to
though.
take a picture with a digital
Not paying an
camera,
exterminator
the
like a
images saved on this
exorbitant
SD
fee.
card couldn't be edited
And my sister
or
won't
deleted.
fucking do anything about them, even though
It's
she
what
knows for a fact
forensics
that she's
teams
not
use when
allergic to them.
photographing crime
She's
scenes.
just useless. She won't
Which
do anything
means
anyway.
what we have here is
Even if it needed to be
unaltered
done,
footage
she'd
of
pawn it
Miko
off on
Shiba's
somebody
murder.
else.
That means it would qualify
So-
as evidence in Ahara's appeal.
Yeah, I'd say you have room to
And
negotiate
take care
with
of
the
that, and then I
prosecution
gotta
and the judge. At the
figure
very
out how
least,
I'm gonna do the rest of
it's
the
an internet
fencing out
copy
back.
with no origin.
Because I'm changing the design on it
Hey,
to make it more
think this'll be enough to win the
efficient
trial?
back there.
Well, I
While
can't
still
guarantee
having that privacy.
but it does
'Cause that's a
explain
6-foot
why
privacy
Kawano-san
fence.
took such a risk. The video on here is the sole original. That's why he'd only leave it in the hands of someone he trusted.
Kiwana asked me to give this to Ahara.
Sure, but he had to know we'd turn it inside out first. Maybe it's Kawana-san's way of entrusting you with the evidence you need? After all, with public security after him, he may not live to see tomorrow. And seeing how he's on the run, he had to find a way to get that into Ahara-san's hands. Which I think is why he left it all up to you, Yagamishi.
And it's settled. It's about time I
I
exposed
still
everyone
haven't figured
involved
out
in
about this
Miko Shiba's
microphone, like the best
murder. Ahara,
spot on it
Kiwana, and his
to
students.
speak into.
That's the first step to
That's
luring
why I have it
public
so
security
fucking
out in the
close to
open.
my face. Because I don't know if
I
it's
believe
here,
the
if
SD
it's this
card will
side,
make
this
that
side, the
possible.
bottom, the front,
So,
or the
hey,
tip, whatever you want
looks
to
like
call it.
almost getting blown up was worth it.
I don't know where the fuck it's at. Like I've
I
tried,
guess so.
and I can't determine it. It's like if I'm talking down this way, it almost sounds like it's muffled, I
Hey,
think.
Sorry to bug you.
And it seems like the best position for
What are
it
you
is
doing
like here, to where like this
I was talking to the
corner
NRC guys
edge,
They
like it's
said
kind of
you'd be
lined
this
up with my
detective
mouth.
agency.
Everything okay?
Like that's how it seems like the
Well,
best is like right
Kane
here.
started hanging out with some shady guys. So I figured
From what
I
it
should
sounds
talk
like to me
Yagami-san
anyway, I
about
can't
this.
tell. But my voice
Sounds
is
like
going to
a
be
tricky
muffled anyway,
situation.
like if I've been down or if
Please,
I'm moving
have a
around
seat.
or whatever.
Akane's that girl.
It's
you
just it
hung
makes
out
it
with
hard to
all the
like
time, right?
scratch an itch or grab something or input something or access the keyboard whenever this thing is like literally right in my fucking face.
So, want to tell me more about these shady guys?
they're these thugs from Tokyo. RK, they're called. They've been flirting with her.
Okay. What else?
They got her so comfortable she blurted out some stuff she probably shouldn't have. Stuff about you, Yagami-san.
Well, that's nothing I can't handle. But rolling with RK is bad news. She needs to
Yeah,
stop.
it's not you
Their
that you
leaders
should
are
be worried
ex-Yakuza
about
now.
there, dude.
I
It's
knew
the
it.
people that you know.
So they actually are dangerous then.
What's really going on?
They find out about him, and they find out that everybody that he's associated with, and then they attack
So
them.
she kind of
So, for
blurted out
instance, some of the
Koda's
staff
name.
at the school,
She did
some of the
what?
other students,
Yeah.
like the one of that
Even Akane
fucking
knew
mystery
she messed
bullshit,
up.
jerk
So
your
she told
Satan's
me right
cock off
after.
and shove it between your taint
Yagami-san,
5000 club,
You've been mixed up with RK, right?
you know?
You think they might go after Koda?
Can you try to get in touch with her?
And those
Actually,
people, of course, you know, the bullies.
I haven't been able to.
What about Akane?
Oh, right. Let me try and call.
Hello, Matsun?
Akane, where are you right now?
The last place Miko Shiba Sensei was.
Huh?
I I'm with RK. We're at the building where Mikoshiba-sensei's body was found.
Why?
Matsun, are you with Yagami already?
What? How do you know about that?
It's Yagami. Is Koda-san there too?
She is. Yagami-san! It's me, Koda!
You stupid bitch.
Is Yagami? Come on over and we'll play. You know the place, right?
Time to bail somebody out of some more
Hurry,
trouble, like
or else
always.
Koda-chan will have to entertain us. Know what I mean?
Hey! Stop it! No!
You wanted it, you fucking little cunt.
Don't! What the hell do you want?
You're the one who was
Down
getting
and
all
find
touchy-touchy,
out.
grabby-grabby, flirty-flirty with him.
About saying, but
And now you're freaking out when you get what you want?
are as good as dead.
Do you guys even understand what you're doing right now?
Better hurry.
And you know what's even more funny? There's actually people like
Matsu, you
that.
stay here. Tsukumo.
Oh, I'm gonna put
I'll
myself
contact
into a
Kaito-san
very
when they got
bad,
some
dangerous
help,
fucking
and I'll fly my drone
situation.
out to the scene
And
too.
then cry about it whenever I can't get any help.
Counting on you.
Even though I so wanted to be in that situation to begin with, I just had to do it. Make everybody freak the fuck out and shit their
Let's go,
pants over my
Yakuza.
safety.
Hurry up, or I'm leaving without you.
And now I need help and they can't get in contact with me.
Yeah, let's go.
Can we just take a taxi over there? Make it quicker. This is already going to be long as fuck anyway, so. Even though it was a short distance to run, you know, just still quicker.
What's up?
Yagamishi, this is Tsukumo. My drone's just arrived at the scene.
Of course it has.
Are with some men, about 20 of them.
Where's Kaito-san and Higashi?
It's easy when you're sitting on your ass in front of a fucking computer screen and you don't have to do anything. Have somebody else set the drone outside for you and then you just operate it without ever having to leave your fucking little chair that you're apparently cemented and bolted down to. Lazy cocksucker. And of course, they would have like 50,000 guys in there. And the bitch on the left, that's why there's so many of them. He's like, I wanted you all to rail me, but I didn't expect you to tie me up and everything and threaten me. I just wanted you all to come in me and on me.
Where those RK guys are holed up? He's Soma with them?
Nobody's had eyes on him yet. Just a sec. Tsukumo?
I've confirmed the enemy position, Yagamishi. They have our 2 young hostages surrounded, so a head-on assault would be too dangerous. Naturally, I've already
What the
come up
fuck
with
are
some
those things on the
countermeasures we
bottom?
can run.
Look like sticks of
Would you care to
dynamite.
hear my plan?
You always come through, man. Okay then. Walk us
I'm
through.
sure they're not dynamite. They're probably firecrackers or something else. Or flares.
Wow. Look who decided to show up. Too scared to come with all your little bodyguard buddies?
Not like you've got room to talk.
Quite honestly, the whole
Shitheads
weapon
does it
thing.
take to watch these girls.
I understand some people not liking guns and everything, but put it into perspective like this. Criminals are
Well,
gonna
we'll have to
commit
save
crime
the lecture
anyway,
for after all this is over.
and you as a good person, you know you're just gonna be minding your own
That
business.
goes for you too, Koda-san.
And usually, 9 times out of 10, the criminal's always gonna have a weapon anyways. Would you feel safer,
You kidnapped
in a
friend to
sense,
me?
knowing that
Here
you
I
could
am,
have
so
something to
let's go.
defend yourself?
We did lure you here.
Or, let me put it this way,
Sorry ass to death.
if you know you're gonna die because you're a pacifist,
So
would
what
you
was your
rather be
plan?
stabbed to
Throw
death
all
and
these
die
guys
slow,
at us
or
as
would
soon
you
as we
rather
kick
be
down the
shot
door?
and just be dead?
We're
Because
smarter
you're
than
dead
that,
anyway.
you know.
But would you rather die in agony, bleeding the fuck out, or would you rather be shot?
Here comes!
And hopefully it's something that hits a vital organ. That way you don't have to sit there and suffer for like 2 hours.
Yagami! Hands where I can see 'em. And same for you two.
Hey, calm down.
Criminals are always going to have weapons anyway, regardless. Like it doesn't fucking matter. They'll always find something.
Shit! Up there!
Like, it really doesn't fucking matter in any situation. Get rid of them all, they'll still find a weapon somewhere. Like, it really doesn't fucking matter. It's just, think of it from that way. Like, if you're anti-violence and all this, how do you want to die? Quick and easy and, I'm not going to say painless. Or would you rather die as excruciatingly as possible? Being beat to death with a bat or stabbed to death with a knife.
You two sit tight a little longer.
Or something else.
Just to warn you, I'm gonna go hard on these guys.
Or would you rather just have an end?
Don't blink, okay?
Let's get going. I want him down before the smoke clears. Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just ranting.
Come on.
Not really getting political, just an honest question. Yes, Kaito, get them the fuck out of here. Because you're fucking useless anyway. You're a brute, but you're slow, you don't know how to fight, and you always get stabbed. Or something else. And of course they're fucking wetting their panties over there because, you know, he's a yakuza dude. Or former yakuza. It's like, oh, bad guy. Even though he's old enough to be my dad. Alright, let's kick they ass. Hiya. Hiya, ya, 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 ya. Kick names, take ass. Well, that's 3, I think. 4. I may have knocked out more, I don't fucking know. Knocked out. Hiya! Ow. Let me take out these little fuckers first. That's 3 more. Oh wait, maybe not, because one of the guys has like 2 or 3 health bars. Hiya! I don't understand that. Why do they make, like, the weapons in this game? It's like you use them, but they're so fucking slow. But yet, you know, like, if you're fighting like this, you can pick up a dude with, like, one hand and, like, throw him, like, 40 feet in, like, 2 seconds.
We are ready to go.
Hiya! Whoa, what the fuck was that? Just flew across the room there. The Taint Feet 5000. Hell yeah. Secret move. And the reason why I say that is because it's literally the only fucking move he ever wants to fucking use. Because they hit me once and it always knocks me on the ground, so it's always like the #1 go-to thing to use. It's like they can just go like, and then my character just goes flying like 50 feet, and then he has to slowly get himself up like this. Or use like one of those special moves where he just like, you know, roundhouse upside down slides, and then flies through the air and throws his taint at them and then slams his foot down in their face. No, you're not. You're going to do the same fucking shit again like you always do because you never learn.
It's not your fault. It's our case. But I'm next in line after.
Where's your dad?
Besides, I'm not the one you should be apologizing to.
Let me guess. Non-existent. Works too much or dead.
Sorry. It's all right.
And if he works too much, you gotta rebel.
Well, I'm gonna head home.
Put yourself in harm's way in a bad fucking situation to piss your parents off.
Soma.
What? Who?
Connie, get back!
Huh?
Here all by yourself? What are you trying to pull?
Oh, I'm just here to talk. To be honest, Kuwano's put us in kind of a tight spot.
How so?
Well, he's got Kawai's body, Reiko Kusamoto's victim, hidden in a freezer, of all places. Been on ice for what, 5 years? You know about this, Yagami?
Yeah.
Problem is, he's planning to reveal its location on the internet. If that happens, Kusamoto-san will be ruined. No doubt her
Well, I mean,
fingerprints
she is trying to
traces
fucking
all
kill
over
him,
the
so,
damn
I mean...
corpse.
Yeah, but that's for the better. Means she won't have to listen to you.
Reiko Kusamoto is a capable woman who can swim with the tides. She's irreplaceable. It would be unfortunate to lose her over some lowlife she had to put down. She's on our side now, and she's accepted it.
So it's your duty to protect people like that?
I protect order, not people. Consider me a necessary evil.
I like that shirt.
That's right. If I hadn't gone
Black with the
undercover,
red stitching.
the Tojo
It goes with
plant's
the gray.
ex-Yakuza would be spread all over by now. If that happened, we never would have been able to track the current
I'd never wear a
That's why I created the
tweed slash plaid
Kamurocho's underground
suit anyway.
under control. Much safer.
I just like the color
less
of it.
Messy than wiping them out indiscriminately.
But I don't like suits like that. I like solid,
the shadow of
like
order,
solid color.
There's always a pair of dirty hands.
Right. Kawana
The
said
vest
something
is kind of
like that
nice too, but I would do a different color to accentuate both.
But if there's one difference between the two of us, it's that I find my work enjoyable. It gives me purpose. When I dirty my hands, it's in the service of order. It goes back to a necessary evil to maintain peace in this country. In my eyes, peace does require violence. It only works.
I think if I was going to wear something like that, I probably wouldn't sport the jacket.
Sawa-sensei too? Is that the piece
The vest is alright, pants are okay.
Yoko Sawa?
They kind of sit high for my taste, especially with the shoes.
Toshiba case to Kawana. She was getting very
Couldn't tell if they were wing-tipped or what.
She may even have figured out Reiko Kusamoto was involved. The fewer people who know a secret.
Some type of Oxford, most likely.
I don't remember even hesitating on that call. And I think that means... Well, you guys won't like hearing this, but it was justified.
You asshole!
Whoa, whoa. Don't fly off the handle now. I haven't finished what I had to say.
What the fuck?
Did I mention how much of a pain in the ass Kuwana made this? He negotiated for your lives, using Kawai's body as leverage.
I gotta make sure to keep this controller on too. It likes to shut off. Because the cutscenes in this game are so damn ridiculously long. And then it just throws a random fight in your face. And you've been sitting here for 15 minutes just trying not to, like, nod off.
This from you?
And then all of a sudden you're in a fight and your controller's shut off.
During the Ehara trial. That shouldn't be so hard, right? Shirosaki-sensei would have to...
It's not good, man. Not good.
If we were to refuse?
Nothing. It's Kusamoto-san's request. She is asking nice.
What?
I have a nasty ass blister on my finger. It hurts.
Could you give her that much? And that's all. I'm sure we'll talk soon.
You think so, huh? Why put off what we can settle now? Soma!
Yep.
Akane!
At least it wasn't a fatal shot. Now shock will make it fatal.
A paint gun.
Oh.
You okay?
What's in the paint? This is a distraction.
Son of a... Well, hell, that's gotta hurt. But a bruise sure beats the alternative, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I'd say he got us good with that one.
Yeah. But that
was a terrible call. If Soma hadn't been packing a paint gun, that would have been really bad. You two are more important than him.
That's what I'm curious about, is like, what do they do about the repercussions of a lot of this stuff? It's like, oh, this person's been shot. Like, how do you go about taking them to the hospital and explaining all that? Or do you let the individual who's been shot explain it? Having to talk to the police and get lawyers involved and fucking being questioned and investigated. Well, what were you doing here? Why were you at this place at this given time, an hour and second, and this day at this, when the weather was like this and the windows just so happened to be open, and you would know that so you could holler out the window and get medical attention and blah blah blah, and that's how I'm talking to you right now, and you're not dead, and yeah, you know, stuff like that.
You've got this, Yagami-san.
Whoa, this is crazy. Why is he so hot? Am I right?
It's like, girls, shut the fuck up. I don't want to go to jail.
Just a minute ago, she got shot. And now look at her.
Teenagers.
Who knows, it might be different in Japan. Like, I'm 30 years old, and I don't really find anyone under 25 attractive. Some people are different, I guess.
Hello? Yeah, I'm getting ready now, Sari-san. Oversleep? I would never... Okay. Yeah. Alright, see you at the courthouse.
I don't understand why he just doesn't go full-time attorney. Way more money. He can build the fuck out of his agency. You know, he'd be working indirect. Or not indirectly, but he'd be working, like, more with his clients. You know, being a detective also. You know, so not only would he represent them in court, but he would also gather all the evidence, be there at the scene, figuring it out, blah, blah, blah.
The defendant of this appeal is active duty officer Akihiro Ihara. He was previously convicted and sentenced to 6 months. However, the defense wholly rejects the sexual battery charge and asserts his innocence.
The prosecution points to 2 pieces of evidence to prove the defendant guilty. One is the security camera footage from Ikebukuro to Shinjuku Station. The other is fiber traces from the victim's undergarments on the defendant's hand. The defense maintains this was not sufficient evidence to issue a guilty verdict. We have prepared counter-arguments to each piece of the prosecution's evidence.
How does the prosecution respond?
We maintain the original sentence was perfectly adequate. That is all.
Oh, lordy. Is this going to end up like the last fucking game?
Let's examine the
how we were in court and then we had to leave and
submitted at the first trial.
Fucking chase after this thing and do this thing and then Sayori and fucking Loverboy over there have to fucking either defend or go on the attack of whoever and whatever.
Trains make their stops. At 9:06 a.m., he locates the victim of this case. Then he boards the train and pursues her. This footage of the station platform is from when the suspect and victim board the train car.
We already saw this during the first trial. Let's not be redundant.
Of course not. The victim claimed the defendant moved in a suspicious manner once the train left Ikebukuro Station, ultimately placing his hand under her skirt. After they arrived at Shinjuku Station 6 minutes later, the victim gathered her courage and grabbed his hand. However, there's a possibility the offender seen here is not the defendant himself, but a different person entirely, a stand-in. The goal was to disguise this event as an alibi for the murder which occurred in Yokohama that same morning. In other words, this instance of sexual battery was a conspiratorial fabrication. The original verdict was issued without taking this into consideration, resulting in an inadequate trial.
This is merely speculation. The defense has no proof to support these claims.
Precisely the issue.
Yes, there is indeed no definitive proof that confirms the existence of a stand-in. However, the notion itself cannot be disproved, even with all of the prosecution's evidence.
Would you care to elaborate, please?
The assailant fled the train and was caught shortly after on the Shinjuku station platform. Many nearby passengers filmed the scene, which then circulated throughout Japan. The impact may have been greater since the defendant was an active duty officer.
And of course him.
There's no mistake that the man apprehended at the platform was the defendant. Upon arrival, station police arrested him and immediately performed a trace element inspection. With that said, there's a very real possibility the offender who ran off the train was an entirely different person. And we have the evidence to prove that.
Let's see, where's that fucking thing? Here it is. Shit.
If you'll kindly
See what I mean? I keep smacking this or
What is this?
something else.
Displayed on the large monitor, please. Is that a diagram of Shinjuku Station?
That's correct, Your Honor. First, the victim and the offender ran onto the platform as soon as the train doors opened. The train car they boarded is here on this map. We've marked the offender's route with an arrow. The lighter areas on the overhead view are within the security camera's line of sight. More people pass through Shinjuku than anywhere on Earth in a single day. It's packed with security cameras. However, this arrow with the dotted line reveals the existence of a small blind spot. That's where the defendant and stand-in swapped places.
I see. So you claim this was their opportunity?
Yes. As such, I'd like to question the defendant once more over this evidence. Defendant, when you were issued the verdict in your first trial, you said the following to the judge. In a warehouse about 3 days ago, a body turned up in Yokohama. If that wasn't enough, you correctly identified the body as Hiro Mikoshiba, despite the fact the police had yet to do so. How did you manage to pull off such a feat?
It came to me in a dream. Strange, I know.
Mikoshiba-san was your son Toshiro-kun's classmate, was he not?
That's right.
Toshiro Ihara was found dead in his apartment 4 years ago. He took his own life. Afterward, the defendant sued the school over Toshiro-kun's suicide.
Yes?
Ihara-san, can you tell us why you sued the school?
There were rumors my son had been bullied. Unfortunately, the court wasn't able to substantiate that claim.
And these rumors were discovered on the internet?
They were.
Of the bullies mentioned, Mikoshiba-san's name was among them. Were you aware of this?
I was.
Would you say you harbored murderous intent against Mikoshiba-san?
Objection. The defense's question is irrelevant. This case is to examine whether or not sexual battery took place. Also, the Kanagawa police are actively investigating Hiro Mikoshiba's
I gotta get up and blow my nose. This is ridiculous. I can't fucking breathe.
baseless speculation.
How does the defense respond?
The timing of the battery incident makes this case an alibi for Mikoshiba-san's murder. We believe there's a very relevant connection.
Very well. The prosecution's objection is overruled.
And please keep it brief.
Just as soon as the defendant answers the question. Did you
damn
harbor
it.
murderous intent for Hiro Mikoshiba?
Of course I did.
This is why I normally have a handkerchief.
In other words, Your Honor, it goes like this. On the day Toshiro-kun's bully, Mikoshiba-san, was killed, the defendant set out to synchronize the murder with sexual battery. It became his alibi for the murder, and the prosecution and the court all but approved it. A 6-month sentence for sexual battery and getting away with murder. That's all the motivation the defendant needed to fabricate this elaborate scheme. His stand-in groped his accomplice, and then they swapped places before getting caught. It's all entirely possible.
Then the defense should present
Make
some
sure my
evidence
controller
to
doesn't
prove
die
it.
fucking again.
Wrong. That's not how this works, is it? The prosecution bears the burden of proof in criminal cases. If we go through all the evidence and discover the possibility no groping took place, then it's on the prosecution to refute that.
Fine. Have it your way. The defense's argument about the security camera's blind spot is flimsy at best. While the defendant was running, his female victim was chasing after him. Surely the victim would have seen if he had switched places with a stand-in. Yet the victim provided no such testimony.
The victim, Yui Mamiya, was an accomplice in the scheme.
Objection! This is an insult to the victim. Such claims harm the integrity of all women.
I'm gonna say that one.
We have good reason to doubt the victim's credibility. She was all part of his plan. In fact, that's all but sure.
A 50-something man separated from his wife was
Waiting
driven
for
by
fucking
loneliness
emails to
the
refresh.
That seems much more likely.
The way you phrase that. Is the prosecution admitting the defense's claims aren't wholly impossible?
Beg pardon?
That would imply the guilty verdict from the first trial was issued without 100% certainty.
Now you're just nitpicking.
Defense, if you claim to doubt the victim, then what is your reasoning?
Yes, we do. In actuality, she wasn't the only conspirator who helped stage the groping. The bystander who captured the defendant, the witness who recorded the incident on his smartphone. Both men, in conjunction with the victim, were classmates from the same high school. Which means, strange as it sounds, that these seemingly unrelated individuals were in fact all acquaintances. It's clear that this was a carefully organized and planned event.
Our investigation discovered they all graduated from Kurokawa Academy in Tokyo 13 years ago. Additionally, Yoko Sawa, the teacher who was killed in Ijincho, graduated from the same class. 4 years ago, she was the teacher of the defendant's son, Toshiro-kun. We believe this indicates a connection between the Kurokawa Academy graduates and this case.
Of course, that's as deep as we need to go on that. We've simply presented the possibility that multiple conspirators were present when the defendant was apprehended. And as long as such a possibility exists, the defense asserts the defendant cannot be found guilty.
Your Honor, may I speak?
What is it?
I haven't committed murder. Per my conviction, I am just a pervert who victimized a woman on the train. Everything else is in the defense's imagination.
Let's see what we got.
Defendant, why did you agree to this appeal then?
You can ask my lawyers that. I simply didn't stop them.
How does the defense respond?
It's just as the defendant says. However, we believe his recollection may be a bit fuzzy. To refresh his memory, I'd like him to take a look at some footage. Will you permit this, Your Honor?
Now what?
But please, don't display this on the large monitor. We shouldn't shock the public. It's footage of a murder.
Excuse me, wasn't that denied as evidence?
As I said, this is solely to refresh your memory. It's up to the judge whether or not we show it.
Please proceed.
That's just internet footage with no known origins.
No. This footage is from the SD card in the camera used to record it. This is a write once, read many card, also known as a worm. The police use it to photograph evidence. Anything recorded on it is highly reliable data. After serving your time, you intended to release this to the public. But Kawana can't wait for that to happen. And that's why he left it in my care.
Don't kill me. Please. I'm sorry. Toshiro-kun. I'll make it up to him. I'll atone for it. I swear I'll try to make it up to him somehow. I'll spend the rest of my life making up for it. Ah! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Defendant, in that footage, is the person in the white raincoat you?
You could say it looks like me.
The person you killed is Hiro Mikoshiba. According to the autopsy report, he died sometime after 7:30 a.m. on October 7th. Therefore, it can only be that the person who passed through the ticket gate shortly after at 7:43 a.m. was not you, but your stand-in. As the defense, we cannot allow our client's conviction of sexual battery to stand in light of this footage. May we continue questioning the defendant?
How does the prosecution respond?
Even if the footage has an irrefutable source, that alone does not make guilt of murder. I'd just like to state that in advance.
So the
Do I still have bottles? Yes, I do.
Remind me who exactly is defending me here.
Good question.
The defense repeatedly mentions a stand-in, but where is this person currently? Who even are they? The person on the station security footage was wearing
Sorry about the loud
sunglasses,
noise.
but he looked just like
That's
the
keys for you.
We believe he used a mask made from a 3D printer. If you look closely, the alleged defendant at Ikebukuro Station and on the train does not move his mouth at all.
Always have to wipe off the
We
top
learned
of
this
bottles
from
and
sources who may
cans
have been the
because
stand-in and the collaborators.
I don't know. I've heard horror stories about it. I'll just put it that way.
The defendant should know all of this.
Horror stories from cans because, you know, there's no quality control in warehouses usually. So rats will piss and shit all over the cans. And people are just putting that in their mouth.
The murder footage has excellent production value, but nothing
Same
else
thing with
corroborates
bottles
the
too,
defense's
like the
claims.
bottle caps haven't been properly cleaned and sealed.
I would like to request
The other day I opened up one of these and I don't know if it was just a fucked up one or what, but there was black mold on the inside of the bottle cap. Of course I didn't check this one, but it's at the bottom of my trash can,
By
so.
that logic, there's no precedent for using battery as an alibi for murder either.
I will admit
It doesn't
there
smell
is a
all fucked up.
possibility, but not enough to justify subjecting the victim to further distress in court. I must once again deny.
And it tastes like Heineken, so.
Defense. I've
And who
made
the fuck is
myself
texting
clear.
me?
Your Honor, following the defendant's last statement, we have a few more questions.
Understood. Please proceed.
What's next?
I don't know. I can't respond to this right now. I gotta fucking take care of this. Can't do the whole text message bullshit. I don't fucking know. Did we talk about Kawana? Let's do it.
Ihara-san, you're familiar with Jin Kawana, aren't you? He's a handyman in Ijincho.
Nope. Never heard of him.
On October 7th, Kawana disguised himself as you and boarded a train at Ikebukuro bound for Shinjuku Station. He was the stand-in for the sexual battery mentioned earlier.
Your Honor, no evidence has been submitted to verify that statement. The name Kawana was not present on any documentation, nor was the prosecution notified.
Kawana is the very person who encouraged the defendant to murder Mikoshiba-san.
Defense. As the prosecution has stated, no one by the name of Kawana is known to the court. We've not even confirmed if he exists. Please refrain from this line of questioning.
But, Your Honor, Kawana is a key factor in the defendant's motive. Without him, Ihara-san never would have killed Mikoshiba, and we wouldn't be in this courtroom. Am I getting through to you?
I don't know a Kawana.
No, you definitely do. Kawana's the one who fanned the flames of vengeance. You do well to remember that.
Maybe the recorded call? I guess.
Take a listen to this.
What is it?
It wasn't just some random internet post that made you decide to kill Mikoshiba-san, was it? Even while battling the school in court, you still didn't know for sure who pushed Toshiro-kun to his death. That's when Kawana came to you with this recording, right?
Hmm? That's... Why do you...
Toshiro-kun came running to the roof. His face was pretty swollen. And a few minutes later, a student named Mikoshiba came up looking for him. I'll never forget the fear I saw in Toshiro-kun's face.
That's the voice of Yokosawa, the teacher Toshiro-kun confided in about being bullied 4 years ago. It was recorded in secret and played for the defendant by Kawana.
He told me about everything. The tasing, the beatings, the theft. How nobody was on his side. And yet, I had to deny all this in front of an entire courtroom. Believe me, I never wanted to do that. They said there was no hope, that I was the only witness with no proof whatsoever.
After hearing this, the defendant came to believe Mikoshiba-san's unchecked aggression toward Toshiro was the driving force behind his son's tragic suicide. And ultimately, this became his motivation for murdering Mikoshiba-san and staging his elaborate cover-up. Isn't that right, Ihara-san? Is it coming back to you yet?
Afraid not.
I see.
Then, is that all? Can the defense please get back on track?
This recording only came into my hands by means of Kawana. Except, thinking about it now, much like the murder footage, that would qualify as an unreliable source, wouldn't it?
What?
We live in an age where audio and video footage can be fabricated and easily reproduced.
What are you getting at?
Sawa-sensei, the one speaking in the recording, was murdered only days ago. And the one who recorded it, Kawana, disappeared without a trace. Meaning that as far as this recording is concerned, no one is left who can prove that it's authentic to the court. Or is my understanding incorrect? You would say you're completely unaware of the details about your son in this recording. Kawana had it. Didn't he play it for you?
I never heard it. Regardless of the content, it has nothing to do with me.
So you say. In that case, let's just assume then that Kawana and I are the only ones in possession of this audio recording. And considering that Kawana has all but vanished without a trace, that would actually make this the only copy, and me the sole owner. No backup exists.
What are you getting at?
This has no value in this courtroom, then I'm afraid it's never gonna have a value beyond today. And being that you claim it's unrelated to you or this case, then it wouldn't bother you if I were to delete it from my phone right here and now.
Why would... That's crazy. I wouldn't!
Okay. Then tell me why I shouldn't do it.
Because Mikoshiba was a man who should never have escaped being judged. That's the proof of my son's pain. The proof that everyone ignored. That recording is all I have left of him! I I took the school to court because Toshiro deserved justice. But all they could say is that the cause of his suicide couldn't be determined. In the end, not a single person was held responsible. No proof, no justice. My son was hung out to dry.
Yes. That's all true.
All of you. You're all so incompetent. You see yourselves as these paragons of law and justice. Yet the truth slips right through your fingers. And then, my alibi made you a mockery. I made it so real. You passed me off as just another pervert. You were gullible. Every single one of you. Toshiro threw his life away and justice was blind to his pain. Mikoshiba walked free because of you. You condone murder and call yourselves the law. That's why. That's why I did it. I took Mikoshiba's life with my own hands.
This is coming in hot. Remember that pervert cop? Turns out he's actually a murderer.
To recap, you killed Hiro Mikoshiba in Ijincho, then headed to Shinjuku Station where you and Kawana pulled off a switch. And there you were ultimately arrested as a groper.
Yeah. That's right.
Defendant, you bear animosity for the whole system. We can't just take your words at face value. If you're responsible for Mikoshiba-san's murder, can you bring forward any evidence, or just the murder footage?
To tell you the truth, I have something that I was holding on to for the impact that it would have. It's very real evidence that the law has failed us.
What have you been hiding then? Will it prove you killed Mikoshiba?
Yes.
Then what is it?
If you go to my wife's apartment, you'll find my son's altar there. In it, you'll find the weapon I used for the crime, the knife I murdered him with. It still has Mikoshiba's blood on it.
Wait a minute, Genda-sensei. I prayed at that altar.
Well, I guess you can lead a horse to water.
Very well then. We'll open an investigation.
Defense. Will there be anything further?
No matter how justified, vengeance is not something we can ever take into our own hands. That said, in the case of Ahara-san, our system failed him. We know the law strives to be just, but it failed to prove Toshiro-kun was bullied. That's not justice. Not when no one is held responsible. The law, as well as those who enforce it, are far from perfect. So to the court, I say let this case be a lesson. The law is failing to save people who need saving.
It's clear proceedings should be adjourned. At a later time when Mikoshiba-san's murder weapon is recovered, we can resume the trial. I'm willing to do that via a special exception. Defense, prosecution, is that clear?
No objections.
The defense rests, Your Honor.
Now what do we have to do? God damn, I'm going on an hour. Fuck. If we have to beat Soma's ass and fucking save Kawana or whatever, plus credits.
They've recovered the knife. I'm ashamed to admit that I was so blind to his skin.
You guys are basically going to be watching a fucking movie.
Seems I underestimated you. And the worst part of all, I was arrogant. Legal authority and organizational connections should never be held above the pursuit of truth. I'm glad you were able to make me see that again. Thank you.
Nah.
You've come a long way.
Genda-sensei.
Prosecutor Takano's been stubborn as hell from the day he passed the bar. Once he's made up his mind, nothing can stand in his way, not even his own boss. And he only bows once in a blue moon, so I hope you remember this.
Typical Genda law. I'm never going to like you.
You two really pulled it off. Great job.
So why exactly is Genda so revered? Or... yeah, like, why is he so favored?
Yagami-san.
Like, what exactly did he do
It's Kusumoto, the vice minister.
to build up such a reputation?
Bondo.
He's from public security?
Right.
You handled that with such grace, Yagami-sensei. It's no wonder Kawana holds you in such high regard.
What brings you here?
Yagami-sensei, would you mind if we talked alone?
Why, though? Something we can't hear?
The more you know, the more you risk. You'd be endangering your own lives. If you're willing to accept that, feel free to stay.
We'll clear the room. At this point, we'd just be getting in Yagami-san's way.
Fuck me. What do we got?
It was nearly a month ago that Kusumoto-san received...
And there she is. That fucking bitch. Walking behind him like she's a fucking beat dog.
What did it say?
I had no
So I
choice.
told
They made me do it.
Kawana hid Shinya Kawai's body, seeing as Kusumoto-san's fingerprints and other traces were still on it. If that surfaces,
Damn it.
the Ministry of Health will have yet another massive scandal on its hands. As such, we'd like to recover and dispose of the body as quickly as possible. Perhaps we'll need to melt it down.
The body was originally preserved to maintain control over Mitsuru's bullies. I never imagined it would be used against me someday.
Fine, but why are you telling me this?
Because of the letter he sent. Once Eihara-san's trial is over, he wanted to talk to you.
My mom was cremated,
Using my phone.
and I can tell you one thing, it is definitely not a quick process. I've heard multiple different things. I've heard that they still do embalming, like before cremation, just simply because like the body starts to decay unless they do it. And sometimes, like where cremation takes so long, usually a line can build up, so they have to embalm the deceased's body, usually anyway. So I've heard several different things. I've heard sometimes they don't, sometimes they do, and when they do, that's the reason why, because there's a waiting list, because crematoriums, even though they're heated up so fucking hot, it can take like anywhere from 48 to 72 hours, depending on the size of the body, to completely turn to ash.
You're a dead man.
And it's still not exactly ash.
That's exactly why
Just letting you all know. So it can take 48 to 72 hours to not even completely take down
imagined the day would come that you
a
would
dead
be
body.
the one to betray me. But if I had to guess, Mitsuru
And this is
Kun
after
must have
dealing
woken
with funeral people setting up stuff and
your whole past.
fucking, you know, research
You're not the only one it
online and
stands to ruin.
talking to them and
When all
everything
that
else.
comes into the light, Mitsuru-kun will be labeled the son of a murderer.
Exactly. I can't let that... That's the one thing I need to prevent.
I know.
I didn't tell my family about it whenever we
Exactly what you
came to
should
the
be doing.
decision
So please, don't stop now.
to
and
go
let me
ahead
pass.
with cremation because that's what my
Enough
mom wanted
is
anyway.
enough. You and your son have been through
But
enough hell.
that's
I
what I
want to
found
protect
out.
Mitsuru-kun too. Almost
As far as I know, my dad and my sister have no idea about it.
Kawai's body? Tell me.
Because my mom didn't want to be
I can
embalmed.
only assume this call is being
She just
traced.
wanted cremation.
Even as we speak,
but I was
Standing
told
somewhere
that.
very close to it.
Because I had the funeral director, I got him off to the side and I talked to him. Because I wanted, you know, more information.
I'm in Jincho. If I take even one step out of this city, I'd be powerless.
Especially when I found out how much money it was going to
Nowhere else
cost
left to
for them to do that. And that's when I found out that, like, funerals and stuff like that, like, the prices of them have gone way, way through the roof.
Kawana is taken care of. I'm next on the list. Bondo can act at his own discretion. If he wants me
Even
to,
though my mom was
he'll be able
cremated,
to silence anyone who could know too much.
and that was her wishes, like, it was still about $7,500.
You yourself have sealed his
So,
fate, you know. Will you tell him? Will you tell Mitsuru-kun about Sawa-sensei?
Surely you know it wasn't my fault.
when my
Sawa-sen's
aunt
death was
died
a
back in
tragedy.
2010, it was
that would
like,
happen.
What about Kawana?
she had a whole big-ass
Can you
fucking
imagine how his
service.
death is gonna play out in
A
few
fancy
hours?
coffin and all kinds of stuff, and I think it was like only 8,000 or 9,000 for the coffin, the memorial service, and the burial service as well.
I can talk some
And the
sense into
marker
Bondo.
was like
I won't allow him to
2,500,
kill
something
indiscriminately.
like that.
So please, don't go out there.
The only reason why I went off on that tangent is because they were talking about disposing of a body quick. It's like, cremation is not the way to do that.
No promises. Tsukumo, Kawana's still
Of course,
out
it
of
is
Jincho.
Japan. Who knows what they
Soma
have
and
access
RK
to
are
over
heading
there.
too. We need to get to him fast.
Wait, are you sure about that?
You should be
And
able
being
to
a
pick up
criminal
some
outfit,
chatter.
who knows?
Report
They
the
probably
location.
use fucking
I'm
acid
on
or
my
some
way.
shit.
I'll talk to you soon. Tsukumo,
I see you've arrived in a Jincho safe and sound.
what's happening? Is RK on the move?
Oh yes. A picture began circulating on the internet not long ago. It was
But they were
likely
talking
Kawana's
about
arm
like
was
wanting
out
to
there.
dispose entirely of that dude who was Frozen's corpse. Cremation's not going to be the way. So,
Is this Shinya Kawai? That's his body.
Indeed it is. I data mined the image and found out it was taken just minutes ago. I also have the location. It's a warehouse company on Yokohama's coast, and Kawana's uncle came up as the proprietor.
You mean Siren's owner?
Dead controller again.
Send me the warehouse's address.
Actually, Sugirashi is driving there with Kaito-san and Higashi-san right now. If you want to ride, take Isizaki Road and head to Tsurukame Highway.
Can't count.
If you want to ride, take a taxi.
Just trying to return them many favors, Yagamishi.
Fucking wow. Wait, a word of advice. From here to the end, the battles will be intense. Okay. Well, hell, if that's the fucking case, why was it telling me, like, well over an hour ago, and, like, even in the last video, that I wouldn't have any chance to save, I wouldn't have any chance to do this, you're not going to have any more chances, you better make sure that you're stocked up on this, that, and the other. And then I record a fucking hour-long video, and I'm given the chance to save to continue. That way I have another video to do. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. So I guess this is not the last video. I guess the next video will probably be the last video. So yeah. Ciao.